Hello, and welcome to episode 147 and the third anniversary episode of Bardic Quest. In this episode, our heroes begin their final quest to save the soul of their fallen friend Johann. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. So, last time you had visited Margaret to gather any last bits of information, morale boosting, and for Thorik to show off his new weapon to his goddess. And you then began your preparations for heading into the mountains to try and track down Icespire Hold, which is the ruins which Margaret believes holds the gateway to the Shadowfell in which Johann, or rather Johann's soul, has supposedly been taken. Thorik went looking for gear and equipment, whilst Marvellus rallied the town, I think.
Hyped us up.
Hyped, that's it. Hyped you up. Yeah. Amongst the townsfolk. And Saga went looking for maps and trying to chart some sort of course into the mountains before you set out. Now, these preparations had gone okay, but they certainly weren't certainly weren't as successful as your preparations to the Dragon Barrows previously. Finding this information was a little bit harder for you because not many people go that far up into the mountains, and so information was scarce. But then you all retired to the Sleeping Giant Tap House, the other inn within Phandalin that Saga had some degree of history with in terms of encountering members of the Red
What
Brands.
a warm welcome.
Yes, indeed. But we are picking up now the following morning after you enjoyed a night of revelry and preparation ahead of your journey into the mountains.
Saga's at Margaret's, just to remind you.
Yes. That's right, thank you. Yes, I did forget that note. Yeah, she was staying at Margaret's. So, let's start with you then, in that case, Saga.
Mm-hmm.
As you are indeed, as you say, in Phandalin in Margaret's house.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you would like to do as you first awaken?
I mean, she would have probably started off sleeping on the floor, but then she would have basically lain on top of Johann for the night.
Just kind of spooning.
Yeah. So she'll probably like straighten out his outfit. She's very aware that Margaret's there, or God's there.
Yes.
So she's probably being more quiet than she would if she was straighten him up. And then
Margaret is
Linger.
pottering about
Yeah.
this morning, by the way. She's up bright and breezy. She is kind of giving you your space,
Yeah.
but she's ever present, certainly.
After a moment of sort of gazing at Johann, she would say, "This can't be the last time I see you." And then she'll like put on her breastplate and whatnot. And I mean, she's not good with people at the best of times, so she'll sort of awkwardly start leaving. Like, thank you for everything.
That's to Margaret, presumably, yeah. And she says, "Oh, no bother. Best of luck to you and your comrades."
I mean, anything you can help us with, we'll be grateful.
As I have said to you before, I can only really guide. If I was to interfere a little too much, which some might say I already have, but the consequences would be dire of my involvement. I can guide, and that is about it for the time being, I'm afraid. But he is safe here.
That's good. I might be overstepping here, so I apologize, but did you hear me? 16 years ago, did you hear me?
She looks at you curiously. She says, "I'm not fully sure I understand."
That's all the answer I need. I'll keep Thorik safe. And then she leaves.
Margaret doesn't say much. She just kind of watches as you leave. And as you kind of close the door behind you, you hear her just say, "Right. Better get on with this cake then."
She'll,
Oh, yeah, go on.
yep. She'll go to the, I guess everyone else stayed at the tavern.
I believe so, unless anybody had any other plans, of course. But that was my assumption also.
Off she goes.
All right. Okie doke. So the rest of you, then, you're waking up in certainly less pleasant rooms than is at the Stonehill Inn. This place is not as well kept as the Stonehill Inn by any means. You're not quite sleeping or staying in squalor, but the amenities are less pleasant. The mattresses aren't exactly as clean as they would be at the Stonehill Inn and things like that. So all of the amenities are there, but just not as good quality as you would expect at the Stonehill Inn. In fact, two of you have had to share a room because there are a lot less rooms here also than at the Stonehill Inn. So I'll let you decide amongst yourselves which of you shared a room. But
I imagine probably me and Sergei have shared and given.
I imagine probably.
Marvellous. Thorik's mind is thinking almost kind of like to give Sergei a break from being the squire. Like,
Now,
just like-
while we wake up, I'm going to turn to Thorik and go, "Thorik, it is a tiring work being a squire."
I bet. How's he treating you? Does he pay well?
Pay?
Oh, right.
You get paid for this?
I suppose I don't know. I suppose, is it more of like an exposure thing? Is he paying you an exposure, or
I think so. Yes.
Does he have connections that he can link you up with?
Apparently so.
Is he inviting lots of people to see you, Squire, who will then pay you?
No, but he said, they will see me.
Right. That's all we could ever hope for.
It is a tough world out there. Anyway, I am going to need a change of trousers today, I reckon, if what happens later, and we do come across a large lizard.
I don't really... I get the principle of bringing something like that down, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly concerned about facing such a creature.
There will be a mighty good song in it, however.
Oh, I hope so.
I'll start working on the melodies. And then he starts plucking the same string over and over, slightly out of tune.
As you do that, you then hear a tinkling of a bell in the room next to you.
Hold on, my lord requires me, and I will skittle out, my little feet running.
Find a bell.
And I will head over and knock on Marvellous's door. Yes, sir.
Enter.
Ding, ding, ding. Is that enter?
As you walk in, Marvellus is standing there, and he's just struggling to do the straps up on his splint mail at the back, and he's got one of the straps through the wrong loop and that sort of thing. Could you, Squire? Could you do me the honors? Just help me. Not quite used to doing this myself.
Yes, of course. Sergei's going to go over and, having probably never put splint armor on anyone, try his best.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Is that okay? Too tight?
Yes, your hands are slightly cold.
Oh, sorry. Let me...
Well, thank you. Yes, good, Squire. Did you sleep well?
Marvellously.
Yes, good. Yes, very good. Yes, I knew having bard such as yourself as a squire would provide some other perks. Yes, indeed. Speaking of which, I procured something for you yesterday. Now I'm afraid I'm not much of a tailor nor an artiste, but I pick up the piece of Hessian material cloth that I procured the other day, and it is just a long rectangle of material with a hole cut part way through. And I say, a squire needs a tabard. Now, I don't know of your family crest, but I know of your moniker. And I say I'm not much of an artist. And as I present this mock tabard to him with a crude drawing of a whale on the chest, and I say, we'll get you up, but when we get to Neverwinter, should we survive this, I will have something tailored for you. But in the at least this will denote you as a squire and not as a member of the common folk.
This is brilliant, and I'll kind of put it on and try it out, and then I'll go. But I feel like I got here with all of you, so I'm going to... Give me a second. And I'm going to go and try and find some painting supplies.
Okay.
Checking if I have anything of such in my inventory.
In your disguise kit.
Yeah, would there be anything in my disguise
You'd
kit?
certainly have like face paints and things. I mean...
Oh. Brilliant. I will... where the whale is, then, I will try and do my best to paint a little wolf on the other side. In for obviously Saga and the group, because I feel like we've seen a lot of wolves in our time, and serious lack of whales. So I will start to paint on a wolf on the other side, the wolf and the whale.
Nice. Okay.
I'll spend my morning doing that while I
Sure.
kind of, yeah.
Sure. So Saga, you arrive shortly after this, having left Margaret's, and you venture upstairs. You can see Sergei working quite hard on this painting. Marvellus, Thorik, as Saga arrives, what is it the two of you are doing?
Me, sorry.
Go ahead.
Either.
So Thorik gets up and it feels quite momentous being like sort of the beginning of this journey. So Thorik, as much as he lost his vestments, he's making sure that all of his regalia is as clean as possible. He's kind of the common clothes that he got himself with this kind of sort of stone blue color underneath his sort of silver splint armor now, or half plate, or whatever it was that we bought last time, splint, I think. And he's kind of adding his own sort of extra touches onto the edge of that. Thorik actually starts braiding his beard and his hair in a fashion that is used in Feanor ceremonies, or kind of like at the beginning of sort of journeys or kind of tasks of certain sort of like momentous occasions or stuff like that.
Sure.
So he kind of has his beard braided into sort of 3 plaits that have these kind of silver, as much as his jewelry is all these kind of silver rings in his ears, his lips, his eyes, his eyebrows, everything like that. He has a few that he actually sort of braids into his beard.
Okay.
And he actually sort of like he takes out a very small little metal tin from his kind of holy gear that he very rarely uses. And he starts kind of painting like concentric sort of silver circles, sort of interlinked rings kind of around his throat. Like there are a couple like around his eyes.
Yeah.
He sort of paints them on his wrists and other places that are kind of like holy symbols that channel his power and sort of give him a greater connection. He's sort of leaning more into his Feanor roots, and he's actually kind of thinking that he's taking up this mantle rather than shying away from it now.
Nice. Marvellus, what are you doing as Saga arrives?
So Marvellus is going to head downstairs, but as he does so, he's going to walk past. He's going to walk past the Whaler as he is painting, and he's going to place something on the table next to him and just say, I almost forgot. Another essential piece of equipment for a squire to keep up, expectations and presentations, as he places one of the bars of soap that we procured the other day, just on it. And sort of looks at him for a moment and then carries on downstairs and goes and sits at one of the tables in the tavern waiting to be served.
Okay. So the first person that you would see then, Saga, as you enter, kind of in the main area of the tavern or the tap house, would in fact be then Marvellus, as he's sat. There are a few locals in there already for their breakfast, and some of them even their early morning ales. As you see Marvellus just sat at a table.
Good morning!
Good morning. She'll join him.
You're just in time for breakfast. We've not been served yet.
Yes.
I think you might have to go order at the bar.
Oh, would you mind?
Let's just wait until the others come down, shall we?
Okay. So
Thorik comes stomping down the stairs and just sees the two looking dags at each other and sort of very pointy goes, "Morning, everyone."
Good morning. Yes. Oh, yes. We
Everything-
were just discussing our evenings. How was your evening, Saga?
As pleasant as it can be. You
Understandable.
sleep well?
Eventually, yes. Not quite what I'm used to, but it beats lying under the stars, I suppose.
True. Have you found Sergei?
Yes, he's upstairs. He's just making some adjustments.
Okay.
The squire is getting himself prepared, I believe. Saga, there was one last thing I wanted to try and find in town before we head out. Do you mind if I take hold of the coffers just
Oh, yes,
briefly?
of course. You'll just plonk it.
Cool. And he sort of secretes it. And, well, I'll probably buy, seeing I've now got the money, I'll go pay for breakfast for people. Get that ball rolling because Thorik's belly is rumbling. So how much shall I mark off for a good breakfast for 4 hungry
A good breakfast, let's call it a silver.
A single silver bargain.
For a good breakfast. Well, as good as this establishment can offer,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Thorik's kind of leans over the bar as she's kind of reaching towards like a sort of open bag of oats. Is like, that unopened bag looks a bit fresher. And those ones look like they've turned slightly. Do you want to be serving those still?
The dwarf on the other side of the bar who runs this establishment gives you a grumpy look, which is a look as a fellow dwarf that you are familiar with, at the very least. One of displeasure as she begrudgingly opens the other bag and starts like measuring cups of oats out into various bowls.
There's something quite comforting about dealing with cantankerous dwarves that sort of warms Thorik's heart slightly. It's just, it's like being home a little bit.
I'll come down about this moment with my new tunic on and come join everyone just casually.
Hi, Sergei.
Why do you like?
Why is it a turkey drumstick?
It's a wolf. Can you not tell? Look, there's the eyes,
It's a whale.
and that's the whale. Yes,
Those are eyes.
yes, those eyes.
I would thought it was from the other end.
No, I used red because wolves are angry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the ones we've encountered certainly
Exactly.
haven't.
And I gave the whale a big smile as well because it looked too
Well,
sad.
you don't want a sad whale on your top,
No.
do you?
No,
A noble whale.
Yes, I gave him a little monocle, but it didn't come out so well either.
I thought he'd been having a punch up the night before. It's got a black eye or something.
Don't be so ridiculous, Thorik. It is a monocle. Anyway, what is for breakfast?
I'm
You
not
have-
cooking it, so I have no choice.
You
no
have
choice.
been presented with a medley, in fact. A bit of some bowls of porridge, and a few kind of fried elements also, with some fried bread.
Yes.
Not looking like the best quality ingredients necessarily, but a fry up before a long journey is certainly a welcome one.
Right, stuff your boots. Pop into the shop, and then we're heading out.
We'll see.
Thorik eats his things, kind of like stuffs. He's like ladling. He doesn't use a spoon. He uses like a slab of fried bread to like eat the porridge, and like dumps an egg on top, and like just grabs a few rash of bacon and starts stuffing it over. I'm feeling like 10 minutes, okay?
Yes.
So, you're heading out. What are you searching for here?
I am searching for diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. And Thorik, remembering that the scroll of Revivify has been consumed, however unsuccessful, he has the words, he has the magic, but he needs the resource to be able to utilize it. So he is going to try and find some diamonds in town, hoping it's a mining town. He might even ask Margaret if she knows anywhere.
So, for sake of expediency here, this is a mining town. You're not mistaken there. So, certainly it stands to reason that such things may very well be available if you can find the right place. And of the locals, including Margaret, that you ask their opinion of on where might be best to purchase one, they point out that really there are only 3 really significant establishments for buying things in Phandalin. The first is Barthen's Provisions, but that sells mostly fairly standard gear. It's like a general store, so not somewhere that you're likely to buy diamonds from. There is the Lion Shield Costa, which is really a merchant trading company that specializes in weapons and armor and things. And then really the only other place, although it's more of an administrative place, but certainly links up with the mining aspect, which probably makes the most sense, is the Phandalin Miners Exchange, which is ran by Harlia Thornton. If you'll recall, it is where you got hold of a map previously.
Yep.
And
I'm
the Miners
now
Exchange
aware.
oversees all mining activities.
I'm aware of Sergei's difficulty with Harlia, aren't I? We've discussed.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it was skirted about a little. I don't think there was too much detail shared, but
I remember he told us before we went into the Lost Mines that he'd pissed her off.
yes.
So I'm just sort of thinking, I really wish I could go talk to someone else, but he'll go there first, and then failing that, he'll go speak to Margaret. So he goes in, knocks, and enters as confidently as he possibly can.
Okay. And she is, as she so often is, behind her sort of counter with ledgers and all sorts, just kind of spread out as she's making notes, counting gems and coins, kind of like weighing the gems and all of that sort of thing. Very much doing accounting on some level here as you enter.
Simply. Excuse me. I'm looking to purchase some diamonds if you happen to have any in your possession.
She says, well, not many so confidently enter here requesting to buy diamonds.
Excuse me, I'm just a simple chap. I thought I'd cut to the chase.
Which I certainly respect. What sort of size are you looking to purchase?
Well, I'm looking to spend about 300 gold pieces. Size is immaterial. Something easy to store and carry about one's person. But yes, I'm looking. I don't think I have enough for 2. 510, so that's only 54. That's 210. I only have enough to buy one use, so I will spend 300 gold pieces of.
And she says, tell me, do you require a singular diamond of that value, or are you looking for a collection of diamonds?
It doesn't matter, really. I suppose having a single or just two smaller ones would be convenient rather than like diamond dust or very small ones. Obviously, they're more likely to go astray or sort of fall or get lost. So in as small a value as you have to the value of that, it's for spell components.
I see. Wait here one moment. And
Thank you.
kind of see her go into the back room here. She makes sure that all of the ledgers and things are closed and such.
Is there anything kind of like on display that's sort of able to be looked at, like just in general?
There's not much really on display here. Most of it is maps and charts and things that are kind of on the wall, presumably for reference for any that are looking to mine in the local area. They don't have much in the way of product or anything that they sell here. This establishment is actually mostly an administrative building that oversees all of the mining activities in the local area. And she comes out a few moments later, and she places a bag of gems. At least you assume gems, given the clatter as the bag hits the counter. And she looks to you, Thorik, and she says, I believe I have seen you about town before with some very interesting friends.
Oh,
Yes, you, I believe, are associated with the halfling that the Lord's Alliance were seeking, are you not?
indeed. Sergei was acquitted of any inconveniences. And as you probably heard, that Jana Albrecht turned out to be rather crooked. We
Yes, unfortunate business, really.
indeed. Certainly not good to bring that kind of dodgy dealing to this fair town.
Quite. She says, so you would consider that halfling to be a friend of yours, would you?
We're brothers. We've bled for each other.
She says, are you sure that he feels the same way?
Truly.
Because the stories that I hear are that his acquittal, though more of a pardon, really, than perhaps any alleviation of guilt. No. It was agreed that the crimes had been committed, was it not?
I don't concern myself with such things. He was pardoned, and to me, I treat people how they treat me. Sergei has been nothing but a stalwart companion and an honest man for all his eccentricities.
Are you sure you know everything about him? And his dealings in the past?
Thorik chews his cheek slightly, starting to get a little annoyed at this individual. And he quite sort of finally says, I know all I need to know. Now, if you'll forgive me, unless you have something to say that you're dancing around.
Oh, no. Just, obviously, if we are about to build some sort of business relationship, I like to ensure that my friends are well looked after.
Is Sergei a friend of yours?
No, but you are a friend of mine, are you not?
Thorik politely just says, kindly, I would just like to pay you for the diamonds.
But of course. And she kind of chucks the bag across the counter to you. And she says, you are welcome to value them yourself, but you will find them to be worth about 300 gold.
About?
299.
If she 299s me, I will be very good. Thorik will take the bag of gems and sort of pour it into his hand.
Okay.
Looking at the and he does, not rudely, but as someone, when buying something of such value, he looks and checks that these are of the correct value that they should be.
Why don't you give me a wisdom check? And if you happen to be in possession of and are proficient in jeweler's kit or whatever, then you can add proficiency to that as well.
I am not, but I am a wise boy. 19.
19. You are satisfied that these are worth 300 gold. In fact, by your calculation, they seem to be worth about 310 gold collectively.
Very good. I will pay her 400. No, hang on. Yes, 400 electrum pieces. And what that means, because they're halves, that'd be 200, and then 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
Totaling 300 gold pieces.
And she gladly accepts the coinage, and she says, a pleasure, quite pointedly, a pleasure doing business with you. She says,
what do you mean by that?
I don't trust this.
Be mindful of the halfling.
Having got the diamonds in his hand, Thorik's tone drops significantly. And what do you mean by that?
Well, a individual of such a shady past, you know, a leopard doesn't change its spots, I think is how the idiom goes. He has, at least to my understanding, associated with rather questionable individuals.
Harley, if half the things that I've heard about you are true, I would say that people near temple windows shouldn't throw stones.
And what exactly have you heard?
Nothing I'd care to share, though we have recently made a lovely new handbag out of a wyvern skin. Sure, it's difficult to come by those. Good day. And I'll leave.
You notice as soon as you mentioned the wyvern skin, that was certainly enough for her face to drop. The smug look very much wiped off of her face as you turn on your heel and depart.
Thorik's like sweaty. He's like, oh, I'm not used to it. Oh, fuck. And he's sort of like quite a trot. He sort of like swaggers out of the door, and then as soon as it closes, he's like, sort of picks up his pace and sort of looks over his shoulder like he's being fine. And then we'll go back. He's like, right, ready to go, brilliant. Let's go, let's leave.
Okay.
Oh yes, I'm ready to go. I stuffed my boots, and I kind of rattle bits of cutlery that I've put in my shoes.
Did you find what you were looking for, Thorik?
Yeah. Yes, I had to go and purchase these from Then
we should go. Come on.
Thalia Hallwinter. Thalia Hallwinter.
No, Harlia Thornton.
Harlia Thornton.
Yes, she should really go into chocolatiering. Did you have any trouble with her? Or?
Oh, she was really running her mouth about you. So that's
naturally.
It was a bit weird that we've literally had to deal with an assassin on the road, or someone trying to bag and tag you and take you off. And then she's just knocking around here in the town. Forgot about that. That was weird.
Did you
I'd like to leave.
Off of her?
Yes, diamonds.
Maybe have a look.
No, we don't have time.
Yeah?
Come on.
On the way, have a look.
Yeah. I'd give.
Not in this tavern.
Well, yes, but on the way.
Yeah. I mean, I bought. I bought diamonds. I'm just sorry. I'm panicking. I'll show you.
There's a lot of listening ears in this pub. Come on, let's go.
As we leave, could I just have a quick look at the diamond, just to see if there's any magical sheen to it? Or any spell or anything on it?
What did you have in mind in terms of how you wanted to do that?
Well, I don't have detect magic, but I do have a keen eye.
Okay.
As if I know about any other if I know anything about items that have got any enchantments on
Not
them.
another dirty short.
Is it?
As in,
talk me through your keen eye. Is this a feature?
No. This is just
just
begging for an Arcana check.
I see. I see. You want to do an Arcana? Well, I mean, an Arcana check isn't necessarily going to tell you if something is necessarily magical at a glance. But you'd probably need to spend because if you were going to try and identify something. You would need about an hour of time to do that. So you could kind of study something for about an hour to establish if there are magical properties, but an Arcana check isn't really going to give you that sort of information. That's more knowledge than it is necessarily observation.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? I'll give the diamond back to Thorik.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Are you thinking she might have put some sort of tracker on it or something?
That is exactly what I'm thinking. Which I can get rid of, but I don't want to waste any of my energy doing so if there's nothing on.
Oh, we'll take a second when we take a rest later today.
Okay. So, obviously, if you haven't done so already, if you hadn't gone through all of the long rest qualities, so making sure that you have had your benefits of your long rest of sleeping overnight, don't forget as well, as part of the Uncharted Journey system that we are using, this will be your last opportunity for a long rest until you at least arrive at your destination, because the short rest, the Uncharted Journey system limits you to a singular short rest during the journey, which would also increase your likelihood of encounters as you travel along your journey. So yeah, just make sure that you have long rested. Any spells and stuff that you want to change about, now is the time to do so if you haven't done so already for the
just
adventure ahead.
Trying to decide what spells to prepare is what am I gonna need?
As a reminder, you'll be going into the hills and the mountains, if that helps.
Cool.
And all long rested.
I believe, Thorik, I might be wrong on this. I always get myself confused. I believe, Thorik, you are the only spell preparer here?
Technically,
You prepare as well, Marvellus? I can
he's
never
just more
remember with
prepared than I am. This paladin is more prepared than my preparing.
I don't switch it up much, but
No, I have I don't think we're going to be killed spell lists, and then this is the I think we're going to be killed spell list. It's very much, it's very much. Oh, that might be a good one, actually.
Talk us through,
Yes.
Thorik, what you're thinking.
Is that
For
my
the
last
sake of
one?
the
Oh,
audience,
no.
of course.
Sure. So I've got my cantrips haven't changed. I always have bless. I've prepared command. I always have cure wounds. I've prepared guiding bolt because it's an absolute staple. It's an absolute must. I've got healing word. I've picked up augury actually, which I think might be quite useful for what we're doing. If there are any difficult decisions to make, that might rolling some runes might steer us where we want to go. I always have lesser restoration prepared. I always have spiritual weapon prepared. Beacon of Hope I always have prepared, apparently, because that's a new one I don't think I've used yet, which I'm very excited about. I have prepared Protection from Energy, which is a very key one that I fear we might need. For the duration, the willing creature you touch has resistance to one damage type of your choice: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder.
Gold.
Revivify is prepared, always. Spirit Guardians I have chosen to prepare because I absolutely adore that spell.
Great spell.
And I think I have room for one more that I'm just going through and seeing what else I might need. If anyone has any suggestions, please do shout them now.
I have prepared my scathing wit.
Excellent. Yeah, if anyone, he'll sort of say to his fellows, like, if there's anything that you've seen me use that you think we might need, do just shout out if you know the answer.
Do you have detect magic?
Oh, I do. I can prepare that.
Because that's a ritual thing, so that doesn't cost
It is indeed.
a
I'll
slot.
prepare that. And I've got room for one more apparently. Ignore me. Carry on. I'll.
I want to do a quick glance around as we begin to leave, just to check that we're not being followed or watched, particularly by any unsavory means.
Sure. Why don't you give me a perception check?
I would love to. Oh, that's a very Halloween-y roll. That's a 13 plus my perception, which is a 4. Makes that a lovely 17.
Okay.
Happy Halloween.
You are pretty confident that you are not being followed or watched as you prepare to leave here.
The flies buzzing around my head suspiciously.
All right. So, as you set out ready to leave town, is there anything anybody else would like to do before you set out into the hills? Obviously, we have those final checks that we need to make to see how your journey generally goes, such as whether or not you're going to cook yourself up a meal and things like that before you go. But anything active you'd like to do?
I mean, we would have filled our water skins and things like that.
Yeah, we've got rest.
Safe to assume that's done, right?
Yeah, and don't forget, of course, the Quartermaster, that is Thorik, has the supply dice also as part of his role as Quartermaster. Okie doke. So then, you begin, in that case, to set out on your journey out into the hills that are just south of Phandalin. As you enter the foothills on your journey. Or at least look to the foothills, because as I mentioned, we do have some of those checks to make. So, shall we start with the party leader, which is Marvellus, as you're making your final steps as you leave. You have the choice, as part of your group travel check, to act with outward confidence, using a persuasion check. Look inward to steel yourself for the journey ahead with an insight check, or, if you prefer, a song in your heart, as you did before.
I think this is an outward confidence thing. As we march forward, I'm on foot with the others, all in it together and all that. I've got my tabard and everything looking as good as possible. I'm striding forwards, and I say, they won't know what hit them. Look at this motley crew we have.
Nice. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, that is a 23.
Nice.
I choose to fail my persuasion. I'm captivated by him.
Very nice. And indeed, it does give you a boost of confidence, as Marvellus, very much displaying his own confidence, as he always does, of course, with his tabard and his freshly cleaned gear, as you step out towards the hills. Thorik, as quartermaster, before you left, you will have had the choice, as part of the Uncharted Journey system, to either share the load, taking a few extra things from your companions so that they don't have to worry about carrying so many things, with an athletics check, either with strength or constitution. Or you may have cleaned people's things up, tightening the straps, mending, and kind of reshaping any dents in armor and things with blacksmith tools or leatherworkers tools if you have them. Or, of course, preparing a hearty feast for the party. You've already had breakfast, so perhaps at lunchtime in your first day of travel.
I think always Thorik's food oriented. That feels like his. It's something that gives him joy as well. Like he feels very nourished by kind of nourishing other people. Spiritually, metaphorically, metaphysically, spiritually, philosophically. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, he will prepare a lunchtime meal of something.
In which case, then, could you give me now? If you have proficiency in survival, you can do this with advantage. If you don't have proficiency in survival, you can exchange the proficiency here for cook's utensils or brewer's supplies proficiency.
I have all three of those.
Great, so you can do it with advantage then in that case.
Cool. I'm proficient in survival, and I have both brewer's and cook's utensil.
Wonderful.
Fab. Lovely. That's 2 natural 16s, so that will be 22.
Very good. All right. So a very hearty lunch is put on by Thorik as you settle in for lunch a few hours into your journey as you've stepped out into the hills.
Thorik unfolds a couple of brown sort of paper packets that he sort of kept secreted, and he pulls out like 2 whole smoked salmons that he sort of like managed to get hold of as part of his acquisition. Oh yeah, I thought you'd be a fan of fish. I managed to get some. Little River. So he starts like carving that up with like some like makes a little herby sauce and like rustic bread. There's like some greens on the side, so it's like quite a nice little feast of various different things. Fish Friday, we call this. So.
Delicious.
Right. Sergei, as party sentry, as part of your general tactics here, as you are traveling through the hills, you have the option to kind of keep watch, perhaps whilst you are eating this lunch. you have the option to have... so that will be a perception check, obviously. You'll have the option to slip the noose, in so much as choosing pathways to help you keep to the shadows, slip away from any unwanted attention as you've travelled along thus far. Or indeed, the option to hide in plain sight, as I believe you have done before, using your disguise kit to try and make people appear different than they might otherwise look.
No, I will keep people comfortable in what they're wearing and not dress them up as random woodland animals, which was my initial thought. But I will, however, I will do the first watch. I'll just keep a perception check.
Okay. Sure.
And just keep an eye out, especially in the skies and sort of the surrounding areas and stuff.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Give me a perception check then, please.
Cool. That is a 7.
A 7.
Yes. This is really good sermon, Thorik.
Yes. You're more looking at the salmon than you are...
Yeah, spending the whole rest of the journey just telling people about various fish that I've eaten.
Wonderful. So after you've eaten that kind of first lunch then, you are continuing along the journey, which brings us, of course, to our outrider, which is, of course, Saga. So the options that you have as part of the Uncharted Journey system is to either, as part of your group travel check, to either blaze the trail, trekking ahead, navigating the wilderness and trying to find the best routes using a survival check. You can leave no stone unturned using your expertise of the wilds to predict any potential danger using a nature check. Or, if you are proficient and have access to cartographer's tools, to try and chart the course as you try and navigate the wilderness.
Let's do blaze the trail.
Okay, nice. Can I get a survival check from you then, please?
Yes. Dun. Ooh. That is. Where's my D&D and Beyond? That is dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Very nice. Okie doke. Good. So you managed to hack through various bits of bush and trees and various things to try and make some cut-throughs as you make your way through the hills here. And your first day of travel through these hills actually passes uneventfully. As there is no real sign of any particular danger. Saga, you managed to navigate any of the potential hazards that you might come up against as you venture through the hills. Sergei's not doing a particularly good job at keeping watch, but luckily, nothing manages to sneak up on you here anyway, as you venture through the hills.
I had this one thing called a swordfish once. I know what it sounds like, and it almost is. It has a long, pointed nose, like a sword.
Of course it does, Sergei.
So it doesn't have like a guard as well. Does it have a pommel?
Watch, and I'll pull Stephen out and hold it up to my nose. What's this?
Terrifying.
I know. The sea is a dangerous place, Thorik.
Aye. I don't know how well I do on the sea. I've not really done much boating.
We should have a trip. Once all this is over, go sailing.
I'd like to see the sea.
I like my feet upon the ground. I've never been on a boat.
Really? No royal procession somewhere?
My father has several yachts, but I rarely leave the city. There's so much there.
So,
Well, maybe once all this is over, we go back to the beach to Leviathan, where we all met, and take a little boat out. Watch the sunset and have one of Thorik's lovely meals.
That sounds nice.
That sounds ideal.
And we can go fishing or something.
At some point, Thorik will ritually cast Detect Magic. It takes 10 minutes. So
Yep.
while we've got a spare moment, he'll just get the sensor out, start doing the wafting the smoke and sort of holding the gems up each one, sort of making sure, like, if there's anything.
And one of the diamonds
Oh, hell.
I knew it.
is giving you an aura of divination magic.
I knew it.
Motherfucker. Is it worth about 10 gold pieces by any chance?
It is.
310, eh?
What does it mean?
She was very generous. Sort of holds it up and says, Sergei, you little legend, you're absolutely right.
What kind of magic is it? Is it tracking us or?
Ritual? Divination.
Divination, yeah.
Aye. Thorik uses divination magic himself, so would he be relatively confident, as much as he might not know exactly what the spell is, he's pretty confident that this is going to be used to, like, track us, send us, whatever it is, and
It's highly likely with divination magic that given the fact that you have such distrust for her, I think it wouldn't be a leap for you to come to that conclusion. Yes, that this is likely being used to track, because none of the other diamonds seem to ping off. It's just this one small diamond that is.
Can you afford to lose this one, Thorik?
oh yeah.
I have a plan. Can I find an acorn on the floor?
Yeah, sure.
And I will unscrew the top of the acorn,
Yes.
slip the diamond in, screw it on, and then I'll just keep an eye out for a squirrel. Oh, naughty. Should I find a squirrel, I will make
Send her
sure.
on a merry face.
And poor Harley's going to be like, why are they going in circles around one tree? Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tree.
Nice. Okay. So as this is now presumably the start of day 2 here of your journey. As you're kind of continuing up the hills, you are keeping a very close eye out for this squirrel, and you do eventually find one. In fact, scurrying about, looking, it seems, for nuts and things.
This is like the Ice Age moment. I will slowly approach and kind of offer up this acorn to the squirrel.
Could I get an animal handling check,
Oh.
for you, please?
Okay. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. That's a 13 plus 2 to make it a 15.
Okay, very nice. The squirrel is hesitant at first. Kind of moves over in like sharp jolts, so it'll kind of like move forward, then stop, and then kind of try and assess you, and then continue scurrying forward, and then kind of sniffs at the acorn in your hand, and then kind of grabs it very quickly out of your hand, and then scurries away up a tree.
Yes. I'm so sorry. I hope she doesn't come for you. As the squirrel runs away. And then I'll catch up with the rest of the guys.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it is one Halia Thornton. Duped again.
Yeah, she was running her mouth about you quite a lot, being like, "Oh, with his past, oh, is he your friend?" and blah 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 blah. You know, it's like
Oh, yes.
classic.
Yeah. Has a keen interest in me. I maybe think there is a slight romantic interest there. No, I don't. But
Yeah. You can do
You're
that.
checking the books, that's for sure.
But she really didn't like my comment. I said he's sort of like reminiscing. You know, when you're kind of like giving a anecdote to friends. That I did say one quite absolute zinger to her. Absolutely. Just on my way out, I was like, "Oh, and we've just got ourselves a new wyvern handbag."
That's good.
that's
And her
very good.
egg on her face. I was like, "Good day, madam." And,
Did you spit on the ground as well?
oh no! That'd be but I was like, "Good day," and I was like,
And you flung your hair and left.
Hey, I was like,
Yes, beautiful. I wish I could have seen it.
I was like this. Just beard kind of.
Over the next hour, Sergei tries to flick his hair quite stealthily, seeing as he can do it himself. How does he do that? I can't
I just
make
think
it
Saga
move.
has a twitch.
Could I get a perception check from everybody, please?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Get rid of the
At 18.
Just 19.
All right. I'll pipe down.
14.
14.
And a 4.
The upwards inflection of that fall really hurt me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Callum.
very good.
I appreciated that one. All right. Thorik, Sergei, as you are very much enjoying this moment of reminiscing, sticking it to Harlia Thornton, you are just kind of looking out over the view around the area. You see quite a large shape in the sky above.
It's an albatross.
Which direction is it heading?
It seems to be headed in your direction.
It's a fat pigeon, right?
Against the wind.
Thorik just immediately gets really serious and he's like, we need to deal. It's a dragon. Hide or draw it to us.
Try and hide, I guess.
We try.
Thorik,
and
did
hide.
you say you got a 19?
A 19?
What is it?
2 dragons.
No.
It's called Dungeons and Dragons.
You are very confident
Season 2.
that is a dragon headed your way.
Oh.
Yep. Do we get any recognition that it has spotted us?
At this moment in time, you're not entirely sure. It's still a fair distance away.
Hide, just in case.
We attempt to hide.
I mean, everyone knows what happens when Saga tries to hide, but it's worth a try.
You attempt to hide.
Still at disadvantage, I assume.
Do that thing that
With a breastplate, I'm not at disadvantage anymore.
we'll do that thing that Frodo and Sam did where they throw their cape over each other.
Yeah.
on a rock. Somehow.
But that's
where
that
are
fancy elven
elven
cape.
kind,
Yeah,
please?
that'll be a cloak of elven kind
Oh,
that you would need.
Wait, it's actually a thing. Indeed.
yeah.
I know significantly less about this game than I thought I did.
All right,
If you
so
get a cloak of elven kind and boots of elven kind, you are a stealthy mofo.
Yeah.
yes. But if hiding is your tactic, then could I please get a stealth check from everybody, please?
Disadvantage with the people in heavy armor.
I'm afraid
Unless
so.
it's a breastplate.
It looks like we're fighting a dragon.
Well,
I would like to call the press. I rolled a nat 20.
Very nice. What did everybody else get?
I'll have you know, I also rolled a nat 20 and a 4.
Well, I did roll a lot of ones. Luckily, there's just 2 and they're next to each other. That's an 11 for me.
I see. Yes, good. That's an 11 total.
11 total.
What's your excuse? You're not now.
My excuse is I'm surprisingly undexterous for a bard.
The tabard, you're getting like constantly.
Yeah.
The
Yes, like
the
snag your
sequins are
head.
glistening in the sun.
The hide in plain sight kind of guy.
The glitter I used for the wolf is starting to come out.
All my piercings are just like glinting in the sun.
What did you get then,
Fucking hell.
Thorik?
Oh, 6.
Oh my.
Oh, shit.
Oh my.
Ah, there.
So, you hide as best you can behind trees.
Yeah, dragon,
in bushes with your feet poking out. As Lynch, marvelous eyes, and as this dragon begins to approach, and where at first you expect it to kind of maintain altitude and just fly up
Did we
a
expect
hill.
that?
It instead looks as though it's actually decreasing in altitude. And it looks as though it knows that you're there. So, everybody, can we please roll some initiative?
I mean, rather now when we've got all our spell slots. And
Yeah, fair.
get it out of the way. At least it's not in its lair.
You
I
haven't
rolled
said
another
anything.
20.
I assume we have no time to like pre-prepare a spell or anything like that.
Well, you were putting your efforts into hiding, I would say, here.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
if you roll high enough on your initiative here, essentially, the point is here, essentially, nobody's surprised.
Okay,
So
sounds
it
good.
all depends on your initiative here, on who gets better
I'm not
initiative.
surprised about the dragon.
Yes.
So fun. It's not a bad.
Well, they're not too important. They're not too
So, Saga, what was yours?
23.
23. Sergei, you said you got 9?
I did.
That's 9 total, yeah?
That is 9 total.
All right. Marvellous?
Oh, I do get to add something down.
Oh, you've gone very quiet,
no,
Marvellous.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You are quite
Hello?
quiet.
Oh, that's rare for me.
Yeah, he's the
I'm
same.
normally having to turn everything down. Is this better?
Keep talking.
Hello, is this better?
Yeah,
oh, that's much
Pushing
better.
the gain up.
There we
lovely.
go.
The gain's
Much
up.
better.
Yes, that would be a 4 again.
4.
So I am literally just behind a tree like this.
Gold glistening in the sun.
I'm very easily surprised. I'm not looking.
Fine.
4 for Marvellous. Thorik?
8.
Okay.
That wasn't confident.
Surprising dragon.
Shit.
Well, I mean, I haven't rolled the initiative for the dragon yet, so we'll see.
What?
Natural 1. Natural 1.
Natural.
The dragon surprises itself.
Oh, I'm a dragon.
I'm descending.
It's like the dogs that get surprised by their own tail.
So, it will go. Saga.
Thank God.
Dragon.
Shit.
Yeah, unsurprisingly.
Sergei.
Wait.
Thorik. Marvellous. So, Saga. This dragon is approaching. It is in the air. At this point, it is, when you account for distance up and distance sort of down the hill, if you will, about 90 feet away from you at this point.
90. Let's see. I would like to move closer. I'm gonna just run closer
Okay. All right.
because I need to get within crossbow distance to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So run out of hiding.
Okay.
Now, how close can I get?
It
Obviously,
is.
I'm not gonna get into melee, but how close can I get?
It is at an altitude of about 40 feet off the ground right now. So if you were to run, let's keep it fairly simple. Let's not bring Pythagoras' theorem into this.
Yeah,
Too much.
I can get 40 feet.
So you've got a speed of 40, is it?
I have I have
So it's 40
35.
feet up. So it's about, to get directly under it, you'd have to move, let's say, about 50 feet, just to keep it simple. To get directly underneath
So I
it.
can't.
So it's 40 feet in the air. If you've got a speed of 30.
35.
35.
I'll move 35.
Okay.
And then use
So
the
that would put
crossbow.
you, let's call it about 45 feet then. I
Yeah,
would
so
say.
I'll use my full distance,
Okay.
then crossbow.
All right. Go for it.
Ooh, 25 to hit.
Oh, wowzer. All right. You take steady aim, fire your crossbow off. Roll for damage for me.
I'm also going to use goading attack.
Okay, nice.
No, I can't. When he hit with a weapon attack?
Yep.
If you hit
can.
with a weapon attack, yes, you can.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Then I can. So goading attack.
Nice.
Fails.
Give these guys a fighting chance.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So goading attack is talk me through again the mechanics of goading attack.
Wisdom saving throw,
Yeah.
and on failure, disadvantage on all attack rolls on anyone else but me.
Okay. Cool. All right. So have you rolled damage for me to start with?
I shall do that now. Which is 6.
6 points of damage. All right.
And then the goading attack gives some extra, which is another 4.
4 points of damage. So 10 total. Then as you fire off this crossbow bolt, striking it kind of on one of its legs. This is a large dragon, so it's a bit bigger. It's about the size of a horse, shall we say? So it's sizable, but it's not massive. As it flies towards you, you manage to strike it on one of its arms, and then needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what a time for a natural 20.
Oh,
Okay.
As it will not be goaded by you.
But we got some extra damage.
Indeed.
There.
Indeed.
All we need.
All right. Now then, it is time for the dragons go, I presume, unless you had any other actions you wanted to take, Saga?
Nope.
All right. The dragon then, having been hit by your crossbow, is going to just descend ever so slightly to get into 30-foot range of you.
Yeah.
And then it is going to, seemingly as a reaction to your crossbow bolt, unleash a cone, an icy blast out of its mouth at you, catching only you in this, as it unleashes this cone of icy air at you. I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
9? Oh, that was a really bad roll. That was a really bad roll.
Why, Saga? Think of playing you here, Annina.
Shut up.
Don't
You dare.
Bear with me. Bear with me here.
150 odd episodes. It's been a real ride.
Dude, shut up.
You will have to bear with me here.
Yeah.
Is that because of a number of dice? Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I think it is.
You better have the number of dice. You better not be doing like one.
I have as
with
many
me,
as
children.
I have as many as I can have, but I don't quite have the full amount.
No.
How many?
On a scale of 1 to 100, how many hit points do you reckon you would have in that sort of scale?
Okay, one more.
Like 15, maybe? A bit more?
You take 44 points of cold damage
I'm down.
That's disgusting.
as it swoops on back up to about 40 feet above Saga's position.
Instantly.
That is
What?
its go.
Let's go.
So what?
Sergei, you're up. Hey there, questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your support really helps to keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you, our incredible patrons and YouTube members, who are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Belliston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, Rebecca Hill, Giles McGee, and Caesars. Honestly, your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those of you who haven't yet joined, I would invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. But to everybody, thank you again for all of your support and helping us to tell these incredible adventures together.